Hey, everybody. Welcome to the next edition of Community Driven from Strosnider Chevrolet. I'm your host, Kevin Strosnider, and we are here at our grand studios at 5200 Oaklawn Boulevard in North Prince George. Have a very special guest to introduce to you today. Excited about introducing Mr. Chris Wray with Ainsley's Angels, the Richmond chapter. And so excited to have you here. It's been a little bit since we've done live. So we are actually live and in person. So everything that we say where we mess up, just give us a little bit of grace and forgiveness for that. But thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to diving in here. Chris,
sure.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And if you would just introduce yourself to our
Sure. As Kevin said, my name's Chris. I am the ambassador alongside with my wife for the Richmond chapter of Ainsley's Angels.
Mm-hmm.
What we do is we help people with disabilities participate in endurance events, typically like your local 5K, 10K,
awesome.
half marathon, triathlons, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's who I am and what we do.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about the background and the history of Ainsley's Angels, where that came from, and yeah, go ahead.
Everybody always asks me, well, who's Ainsley's? Is that you? No. Ainsley was the daughter of our founders, the Rosseters. She had a neurological disorder that unfortunately was terminal. And before she passed away, they were able to find out and hook up with the organization out of Virginia Beach, Team Hoyt. A lot of people have seen them before. There's been a lot of documentaries on them, where they pretty much were the innovators in doing what we do. They provided racing chairs and then helping connect families, get into races and things like that. Fast forward, the Rosseters hooked up with them and realized, wow, this is something that Ainsley really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
And so they started the organization right out of Virginia Beach.
Awesome.
And it's been fantastic. Ever since then, we now have over 70 ambassadorships, we call them, locations throughout the country.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is we reach out to the community, making sure that everybody feels included. That's really our mission. We want to make sure that anybody that comes to one of our events, whether it's a race or whether it's just a community event that we put on, truly feels included.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say that they are for inclusion, but it's difficult to really make everyone feel included. And that's really our biggest vision.
I noticed that you're on your shirt, inclusion without limits.
Absolutely.
That's
and
cool.
it's a high bar to live up to.
Yeah.
But we really, really try and make sure that everybody that we come in contact with feels welcome and feels included.
That's awesome.
Sure.
That's awesome. So 70 places across the country.
Yes,
what is the farthest point from Virginia Beach? Because it's a long ways.
We used to have one in Hawaii. We don't anymore. That's a good question. I'm not sure what the furthest is. Our big event, it was actually Ainsley's last race, was the Marine Corps Marathon.
Oh, okay.
And I used to be a runner. I'm not so much anymore, but I'm getting back into it. But anybody that runs knows the Marine Corps Marathon up in DC is a huge race. It's actually coming up on their 50th anniversary this year. Okay. And that's our big event. And we have almost all of our ambassadorships are represented. And we have teams come in from all over the country, meet up in DC and go run it and have an awesome time. So we're looking forward to that. That's at the end of October.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And it's the Hoyts, is that right?
The Hoyts are a separate organization, but the Rosseters are the founders and lead our organization.
But I'm sorry, the Hoyts are the ones that kind of inspired the Rosseters.
Yes, absolutely.
And the Hoyts, for those of you who might not know that name, you probably remember the story of the gentleman whose son had some severe disabilities, and he wanted to take him. He wasn't a runner,
right?
And then from that story, inspired others like the Rosseters, and then inspired people like you, and people across the country, which is amazing. So I just want to bring that out because people might not remember the people's name, but they remember that story.
Yeah, and we were born locally from another organization, United Athletics. Beth Trebor and her husband had a very similar organization, United Athletics. She did it for over 10 years and decided to move on. And, we stepped up and said, well, we don't want this to go away. And she didn't either. But we needed to have some more support on the back end. And that's when Ainsley's Angels came in and said, hey, we'll step alongside you. And it's been a fantastic, team, if you will.
So tell me about you. How long have you been involved with Ainsley's Angels?
Well, I've been involved in inclusive racing for, gosh, since my son was born. We have a son, my wife, Belinda, and I have a son, Casey, pictured right there, who's been involved in inclusive racing since he was 8, 9, and he's going on 22. So long time. Ainsley's Angels started here locally in the Richmond area October of last year. Our first race, again, pictured right here, was the Richmond Half Marathon in 8K, which is coming up again in November.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So we'll be a year old here next month.
And are you the one of the founders of this particular ambassadorship?
Yeah. So I mean, my wife and I head up the local branch ambassadorship, if you will. But yeah, it's a whole team effort. Everybody.
So how many people are involved in the local chapter?
Oh gosh, I mean, we've had, just in our short time, we've had probably over, if we count everyone that's volunteered or helped push, I mean, 50, 60.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I don't know how much you run, but I mean, Richmond is actually a really popular running town. I mean, the 10K is one of the largest 10Ks in the country. Mm-hmm. The marathon is as well. The marathon's sold out, so is the half marathon already.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So every time we get out there, we have at least probably 5 to 10 teams. Now we're pink is our color, so we're all decked out in pink and running through the streets. So it's a great time.
That's neat.
Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome. So how do people get involved with you? How do they?
That's a great question. The name can trip people up, but it's Ainsley's with an S, angels.org.
Okay.
And there's literally a great big banner that just says join us. And they can sign up as a volunteer. They can sign up as someone that wants to be involved in a race, whether that be they're a rider in one of our race chairs, or they can be a runner. We always need people to help us with equipment. The list goes on and on. I mean, any type of nonprofit always has some type of need. But that's the easiest way, is to just go on our website.
Now, for the actual participants, the runners and stuff.
Sure.
You were telling me that y'all actually help them to try to make sure that there's no barriers. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So anyone that rides with us, anyone that comes to us and says, either I or one of my family members wants to ride, great. Tell us what the deal is. We'll make it happen, as long as we're able to. And we focus on everything here in the Richmond area, so going all the way up to Richmond, a little north, coming all the way down here in the Tri-Cities. We're actually based here in the Tri-Cities in Colonial Heights. So we've done races here and planning to do so next year. They just contact us, and if you're a rider, we're going to make it happen. You don't pay anything. We get you in the chair. We'll get you all the gear to look cool on race day. That's cool. Go from there. If you're a runner, typically we have an excellent relationship with all the running organizations here in town, Sports Backers, Richmond, Road Runners, the whole 9 yards. So they typically will either give us free entry for runners or reduced price entry for runners. And if there's ever a family member that wants to push someone, we'll also cover that as well. So we really try and make it that there's no barriers at all. Yeah,
that's amazing. It's amazing when you begin to think, okay, this is, you said it's a nationwide thing. It started right here in Virginia Beach. And the effect. I mean, did they have any statistics on how many runners, how many riders that they've been able to help in the time?
I'm sure they do. They're always crunching numbers. I don't have that, but I know it's got to be pushing close to 1,000. I mean, they've been around for a long time. And I mean, again, with 70 different locations, you're talking, minimum, every ambassadorship puts on a minimum or participates in a minimum of 6 races a year.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, we participated in a race in North Carolina with another ambassadorship, and good grief, they had over 20, 30 teams.
Wow.
And that's just one race. So it's numbers are pretty staggering.
And in the end, even if the numbers weren't staggering, the individual impact on that individual person is worth it.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, I can just testify on a personal level with my son. He has been involved in so many different events, going back from when we were with United Athletics to now. And he loves it. Like I said, he's 22 years old. I thought that he would grow out of it and tire of it. No, I mean, he's, when's the next race? What are we going to do with this race? How can we make, He loves it.
Yeah.
It's just, and I mean, as you can see from the picture,
Oh,
typically
yeah.
the people we try or we always seem to attract are people that have fun. And even if this isn't something that you would normally think you would do, when you're out there on the course with someone, you can't help but sort of come out of your shell if you have one and say, this is something that I want to do. And crossing the finish line with someone and you hear your name, I mean, just me thinking about it gets me a little choked up. It's awesome. It's a fantastic thing.
And the other part to that is you don't have to know someone who has that, just to be there.
Sure.
To volunteer.
Absolutely.
Without even knowing someone who would be a writer.
That's right.
Is important.
Absolutely. And again, it goes back to that, making sure that everyone feels included. Because again, from a personal level, I think a lot of people, when they have never known someone with a disability or been around a family with someone with a disability, it's uncomfortable. I'm not going to shy away from that. I understand that. Some people don't know how to act, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And we don't shy away from that. And we help people, understand this is a person, this is what their disability is. This is how you can help them. And people walk away with an understanding they probably never had and never thought they would have had just by helping someone run a race.
Now, we've had on this particular show, we've had multiple people from that deal with individuals with special needs.
Sure.
Over the years, and things like Special Olympics and other organizations that we've dealt with. And I always have this. When I ask this question, I already know the answer.
Okay.
But
those are the best questions to ask.
But I want to ask it not for me.
Sure.
But for our viewers, is tell me the impact of knowing somebody personally and seeing somebody seeing other people who have special needs and the impact of their attitude about life and their outlook on life,
right?
And how that's impacted you.
Wow. I mean, that's a great question. And I'm glad you already, have answers that have been given to you before. I think everybody's answer would be different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Personally, and also from the organization's standpoint, again, and I don't mean to sound like a, clanging gong and saying the same thing, but it really helps me understand that you strip away all the stuff that we sort of build our identity on, whether it be, appearance, politics, whatever identifiers you want to use. You strip all that away. You really do realize that every single person on this planet is just that person. Yeah. And all they want to do is they want to feel like they can care about somebody and someone can care about them. And there's a variety of different ways to do that. Yeah. And I think that taking just an additional 5 to 10 minutes a day and trying to apply that to, hey, let me go out of my way to care for somebody else, makes you feel better. And obviously that other person feel better as well. Yeah. And I think that the people that have disabilities or people with special needs, whatever those needs are, deserve to feel included and deserve to belong in our society. Yeah. And I think there's a bazillion different ways to do that, but I think this is a really good way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have I had a very good friend, one of my best friends growing up. His brother had Down syndrome, and to have that personal experience of being around him growing up, and going to church with him and seeing him on a 2-3 time a week basis, and having a relationship and discussion and talk with him. Even today, I've known him my entire life. He's older than me, and today he sees me, and he knows who I am.
Sure, of course,
But to see the way he approaches life and the carefreeness and the joy that he comes to life, comes with to life, is liberating to me.
Sure.
So I think one of the things you mentioned that people don't sometimes, if they've not had that experience with people who have special needs, they don't know how to act. Yeah. But the experience of being around someone who does not have the worries and cares that we have, and all they know is loving people. It truly is life altering.
It really is. And I mean, that goes back to the Tree Boars again, who started United Athletics. I think of their daughter. They have two daughters, one that doesn't have special needs and one that does. And she is just fantastic. I mean, literally one of the happiest people that I've ever met, and I'll never forget meeting them for the first time. And, having a son that, along with my two daughters, that has had special needs since he's been born, it was still, even for me, it was not off-putting, but somewhat overwhelming, meaning someone else that had a different diagnosis, and you're like, okay, well, how do I act?
Yeah.
So we recognize that, and I think that people that try and sort of sweep that under the rug and say, oh, well, that doesn't exist. Well, of course it does. It's just like any difference that we have.
Absolutely.
You're going to look at somebody, whether they're older or younger than you, or skinnier or fatter than you, or whatever. It's still going to create that barrier. But I think that they're all sort of in our mind, and if we just realize and take a second to just say, you know what, that person puts their shoes on one shoe at a time, they're just like me.
That's amazing. So. What I have found is just as much as it is a benefit, things like this, benefit to your son and the other riders.
Yeah.
It's just as much, if not more, a benefit to the people who are volunteering as well.
Oh my gosh. The stories again are countless of people that, for the first time they push, or the first time they come out and man a table or, whatever. I can't tell you how many times we've gotten texts and emails back saying that, you'll definitely see me again. And this was so far exceeded our expectations. Because again, there's a bunch of different ways you can go about this, especially in a race.
Yeah.
There's some teams that really want to be competitive and go out there and really try and go as fast as they can. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's some teams that just want to go out there and basically have a party on the course, and that's awesome too.
Yeah.
As long as the rider is, on board with what you want to do, then great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's certainly beneficial in all the ways around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. What do you have coming up? Do y'all have?
We do. So we have a race actually this weekend. It's the Give a Dog a Job 5K.
Okay.
Downtown. I want to say, what is I think it's the Fall Line Brewery, I want to say, is where it's starting from. 5K, local 5K, another organization that their mission goes alongside of ours. They provide service dogs to people that need them, and they put on a race. This is one of their biggest fundraisers, so we'll be out there. I know my son's going to be a team, and I think we might have one other team. And then our next big event is the Marine Corps Marathon, which will be in DC in October. And then our final race of the year will be the Richmond 8K. I take that back. That's not right. The 8K in November. And then finally we have the Tacky Light race that Sports Backers puts on. And that's less of a race. That's more of let's go out there and let's run amongst all of the crazies that want to look at all the lights. And it's super fun.
Yeah. That's cool. I've never done it, but I've heard it.
Oh, it's one of the funnest events. This actually was our second event last year, and it was so bitterly cold, but it was a great time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great. All right. We're going to wrap things up.
Okay.
I really appreciate you being here. We always wrap up with 3 questions.
Okay.
And you may have prepared. You said you've seen a couple of these before, so maybe you're prepared.
Yes.
So first question. This is very important to me. I like to learn from people. I love meeting new people and hearing their experiences because it helps me to learn and to grow in my life. And I do a lot of reading. Well, anymore I do a lot of listening. I don't have time to read, so I'm in the car a lot.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of reading, listening, and I do a lot of study, and I'm constantly trying to grow as a person. Now, I personally like books. Not everybody does. Some people grow and learn in different ways. But is there a book that has massively affected you in your life, or maybe not even a book, maybe it was a speech or a person that you've connected with? What is something that has been like probably the most influential either person or book in your life?
I'm going to give a 2-prong answer, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Person, and I'm not just saying this for brownie points, but it would definitely be my wife. My wife grew up, she's a couple years older than me, so she grew up in the 60s and 70s, and she had 2 brothers. One of them did have special needs. So growing up in that time, and dealing with that, was a completely different animal than it is today.
Yeah.
And then to fast forward to now, where we have a family of 3 children, one of them having special needs, and to having to sort of to revisit that, but also in a different perspective, in a different landscape. She's hands down one of the strongest people I've ever met in my life. I mean, physically, emotionally, just a fantastic lady.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I married her. But as far as reading is concerned, I don't have one that jumps off the table that really influenced me. I will tell you, I got back into reading on vacation, and I was completely surprised. I read Seabiscuit, which I thought, okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to like this or not, but I picked it up in one of the free little libraries. And I tell you, man, Lauren Hildebrand wrote it. It was on the New York Times bestseller. Obviously, they made a movie, all that. It was hands down one of the best books I've ever read.
Really?
Yes, she just has. I knew nothing about horse racing at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
And this woman makes you feel like you are right there with those horses. It's unreal. It was one of the best books I've ever read. So there's your answer.
That's very interesting.
It's not the most typical answer, but that is an honest answer.
I didn't even realize it was a movie. Excuse me, a
book. Yeah,
I've seen the movie.
Yeah, they made an old movie. I can't remember who was in it, but supposedly it was horrible. It was an older movie, but the newer movie, I think Tobey Maguire was in it. Yeah. I haven't even seen the movie. But
it's a great movie.
The book is fantastic as well. I highly recommend it.
Okay, all right. So this whole area has is giving you their attention. You are Chris Wray standing in. You're up on a podium, and all of this area: Hopewell, Prince George, Colonial Heights, Petersburg, Chesterfield, Surrey, Sussex, Dinwiddie. Everybody is looking at Chris Wray. And Chris Wray has 2 minutes to inspire and give wisdom to all of this area. What would you say?
Well, I can't guarantee inspiration, but what I can say is that we truly are, as I've mentioned before, everybody is on this earth for a finite period of time. We don't know when that time will come to an end. Some of us have a lot shorter, some of us have a lot longer. But I think that if we could really learn to understand that every day that we have is a gift. I once heard, and I can't remember, it was a psychologist or something. She was on a talk show. And she was mentioning, she said, a lot of people say, well, you should live your life like it's the last day. And she says, I don't agree with that, because if you did that, you just sort of throw all of your morals out the window. It's my last day on earth. I can do whatever I want. It's not going to hurt It's not going to hurt me. Yeah. She said, what I believe we should do is live like it's our first day on earth and just live with the wonder of everything that's around us.
Wow.
Just realize that, wow, we really are, here on earth, upright, and able to soak all of this in. And when you do that, you really are amazed. And I think that if we could use that power to, again, understand that everybody wants to be included and that we have the power in so many different ways to help other people feel included. Simply just by, it doesn't have to be grand gestures, but, walking out when you go to the grocery store and you see somebody that might need some help. Hey, you need some help. They might not. They might tell you, get away from me. But okay, well, you did your job.
Yeah.
Giving somebody a smile, when they look like they're having a hard time, or even if they're not. I just think that we can do little things that add up to big gestures that help people. And that's what I think we're here for.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome. Last thing.
Sure.
Most important question.
We'll see about that.
It's really not, but
right.
What is your all-time favorite dream car? If you could have any car.
Sure. I know the exact car, and it's very specific. My dad was the original owner of a 1967 Pontiac Firebird.
Okay.
He passed a couple years ago. He sold it. He was, we owned a country store out in Orange County, and somebody came out to him and said, oh, you ever think about selling it? I'd like to get it up and rolling. He sold it, and the guy never really did anything with it. And Dad finally went back to him and said, hey, you ever done anything with it? And, they went back and forth, and he never bought it. And I've often thought about trying to look that guy up and be like, listen, man, I'd really love to have it. I mean, it's just something that's very personal to me. It's red, convertible, black top, fantastic car.
That's awesome.
I'd love to have that again.
Yeah, I bet.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, man, thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really appreciate you being here.
Sure.
Appreciate your work.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It takes a special person to to really devote their time. I mean, this is not something you're getting compensated for.
No,
it's not something you're getting.
No,
but it's a heart thing. When
Sure.
you devote something to something that pulls in your heart, it takes a lot, and I appreciate that, and to help people who often can't help themselves.
Right.
So that's awesome. So thank you for starting this chapter here
Sure.
in this area, and for our viewers, please, I encourage you to get involved. You don't have to have somebody that in your life that is special needs. You can get involved without it.
Sure.
And the profound effect on your life. You will, if you've never been involved with somebody with special needs, I can't even begin to describe the effect that it will have on their life. So on your life. So please get involved. They can get in touch with you at Ainsley's.
Ainsley'sAngels.org.
.org. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next time on Community Driven.